Support for This Is an Experiment is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. And Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with the exclusive offer for you. That is 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code EXPERIMENT at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls.
The experience is the experiment.
Today's guest is an artist, singer, songwriter, and producer who hails from Trumbull, Connecticut, and has since found his home in Los Angeles, California. He raps, he sings, he plays the guitar, he plays keys, he can produce, and his name is Felly. Welcome, brother.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
I'm excited to be here. I had a good drive here.
I'm glad. We're long drive.
It took me some fucked up way, but I loved it. I was with all the Hollywood, the tourist vans. So they were doing celebrity sightings. So I was doing my own little.
Do they ever look
cruise.
Over at you, try to figure out who you are for a minute?
No.
Whenever I wear a hat, they always try to figure out who I am.
I just look at them, and I'm more intrigued by them than they are at me.
Have you ever done something like that?
No.
I've never done one, but I'm kind of want to go do it now. Living here for 6 years,
It's probably humor, but we could just do our own.
That's true. We'll just
I was just doing it, but I didn't know who anybody was. But it was nice to see the houses. It was honestly inspiring. The roads get real thin, and you start to go in this like I get why all the famous people live up there. I'm definitely coming up here. Like,
it's gorgeous.
I'm getting a crib up there. It was inspiring, yeah.
I feel like if there's anywhere in the city that I'm gonna live, it's gonna be either up in the hills over there or like Topanga, like out in the mountains.
Topanga's sick.
That's the dream.
Topanga's sick, yeah. It's a little congested out here. It's a little hectic.
Yeah.
But all the motherfuckers are out here, like you in this cool studio, and
I appreciate you.
You know, about to go to a session, and there's everybody out here.
Well, the beautiful thing about this town, and the reason I think it's so important, I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's important, is how small it is once you meet more people. The more people you meet, the smaller it gets, you know. I know you through two people, through Danny Scheinman, and through Pink.
Mm-hmm.
And the more people you meet, the smaller it gets, the more friends you make.
Yeah. And it's a go then. Like, if you say those two dudes, and I'm like, bet, what do you need? Your family. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a good thing.
That. I mean, I got lucky with the two dudes to connect me because I don't know if there's two better dudes in LA.
Uh-huh.
They're the best. I love Pink.
You ever had somebody just name drop like the wrong person?
Oh yeah.
Or like they think they could get in with you if they say some like real relevant shit.
Yeah, you can just tell that it's like a spam email where they're trying to act like a 15-year-old on
my uncle's
Facebook.
in the NBA. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I don't know the players.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm doing this. I don't know I'm not a sports guy, though I should be. I can get into it. Maybe golf one day.
Yeah, golf for sure. I like just. I'm a sidelines guy, you know what I'm saying?
Smoke a doobie on the side.
I just chill on it.
Smoke a spliff.
I call myself a lodge guy when I go skiing and shit. Everyone's like, you snowboard, bro? Got the hair and shit. I'm like, I'm a lodge guy.
I watch.
I sit in the lodge. We drink a couple beers. We maybe bring the MacBook out there, make some beats.
Absolutely.
Fucking yeah.
I love it. So let's start this off.
Let's go. Who
are you?
We're on.
Who are you, Mr. Felly? Where do you come from? How'd you start? Who are you?
I go by Felly. My name's Christian. I'm from Connecticut. I came out to LA when I went to school. Somehow got into USC out here studying music industry. Not somehow. I had some shit going on, but was very lucky to, very grateful to. But I didn't play like no instruments or like have much of a music background. I'm just kind of instinctual, and I can get things done. But I met a lot of amazing artists in the jazz program, pop program, all these kids, and immediately I just kind of like found my team. So that was sick, and a lot of those same kids is the ones that I'm touring with now and doing my shit with now. But I'm an artist, I'm a creative, I'm a lover, I'm a human being, I'm a truth seeker. I'm a idiot. I don't know. I'm a lot of things. Depends on the day.
You're a human going through the experience.
Depends which way the wind blows. But I'm a cunt. Yeah, everything.
All the above.
Yeah.
I dig it. So you went to school and you weren't playing any instruments.
I was dabbling. No, I wasn't. I was making I was sampling. I was sampling records, vinyl records, and making beats off that. I just have the ear. Like I have an ear for shit. I got taste.
Well, I've seen you play on videos guitar and that fucking gorgeous Jetsons looking piano that you have.
Yeah. Well, now I have it because I got some money and got to buy all instruments and shit. And you can't just have like sitting instruments. You got to learn how to play them bitches. So I put a lot of time into to learn. There
is something about getting a pretty instrument that makes you want to play it and learn it and be better at it. And every time you sit down, you want to be able to do a little bit more.
It's true. You kind of like you owe it to you. You can't be a poser.
Yeah.
So but back then when I had like $150 guitar, $120 guitar, like, and the strings were like make your fingers smell, and they're all like, rusty and shit. Like you don't want to play that.
No, we got one of those back there.
Yeah, you probably have a few of them. Everyone has a few of them, but you don't pick them up.
It doesn't work anymore.
You don't pick them up. You want something that you're gonna use.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something fun about breaking an instrument in where you don't have to be too delicate with it, and then you learn, and then you know how to use it, and you don't have to worry about that. But there's definitely a time to get some pretty pieces of gear and be proud playing them.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into the beats? How'd you find that your ear was as useful to you as it is?
I think the only sport I ever played was, pretty much. I played hockey when I was younger, and I used to listen to music all the time because you drive a lot when you play hockey.
Yeah.
In the back of my mom would drive me. Shouts to her, single mom, driving me like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. to God knows where while it's snowing, and I'm like,
shout out
just
to mom.
playing like Inner Sandman and like shit to get you hype and like Rage Against the Machine, all sorts of like. I'm just fell in love with music because it was juicing me up. I was getting ready to kill people, and I could tell immediately. I could immediately decipher like the tracks.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's the bass, that's the guitar, that's the vocal, there's some reverb going on. Like I knew all that shit already. And then when I went to go study it and whatnot, I was like, oh yeah, I get what compression is. I get what delay is. Like immediately, it wasn't like I was like, I've been in tune to that. So
interesting.
When I heard like old sample music, like Nas records, or heard like hip hop shit and a lot of the old hip hop sample stuff, I was like, this is amazing because they're pretty much resurfacing old times. They're like, it's brought to you like by a time machine.
Absolutely.
So I was like, okay, how did they get those? How did they get these horns that sound like the 20s? You could feel that shit in your soul. It's so cool. And then I would find those records and sample them and make my beats on it. Just kind of like beginner's mind. Just like, don't really know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Really no restrictions, no guidelines.
No.
Which is the necessary way to learn, I think, at least.
It was sick.
So.
Yeah. Still is.
What were you listening to back then as far as your music, not music that was being played for you in the car or whatever? Was there anything that you were picking out? Because I see definitely some sort of rock influence, clearly a hip-hop influence. Is the rock part newer? Is the hip-hop part newer? What came first?
I think it was like both, like really at the same time. Like I really liked Illmatic by Nas. I loved old Jay-Z. I loved Lil Wayne. My stepbrother would show me Lil Wayne all the time. Right when I first started, like right when I found blunts, I found like Lil Wayne and like, well, I didn't find it. He kind of showed me it. And then I had a other brother and sister who would show me like more like emo-ish records, Taking Back Sunday, Dashboard Confessional, Fall Out Boy, and From First to Last, and stuff like that. And so I kind of had these two worlds. I was like, I liked like the baggy sweatpants shit, and then I liked the tight jeans shit. Yeah. And I was like,
were you a skater?
Yeah, everyone was a skater.
I feel like those two worlds always come by when you're a skater.
Yeah. You like underground hip hop, and like I also rollerbladed too. I was like, I was a fruit booter, yeah.
So some baggy ass jeans.
Yeah. You throw them baggy ass jeans. You play Hilltop Hoods, and you like make an edit. It was sick. fucking so sick.
That shit's coming back. I'm seeing it all over online. I'm seeing people inline skating or whatever you call it.
A lot of them follow me.
Do they?
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie because a lot of people hate on rollerblading and think it's corny and shit, but like, it's sick.
When are you gonna get on a pair of skates again?
I don't know. I'll probably still be nice to that. I still I like how it moves. But a lot of those dudes follow me, and I love watching them. They're so sick.
It's like mesmerizing. It's like meditative.
Yeah,
And then
they're
also
badass. Yeah.
soaps are coming back.
What's that?
The shoes that you could grind.
Oh yeah, that's weird. You won't catch me soaping.
I had a pair in a pair of Heelys back in the
Heelys
day.
is lit.
Heelys are the best.
Movie theater shit. Yeah.
So, how did you find yourself going from a boy who was learning music, found out you had the ear for it, to being Felly, to being somebody who was able to see the world through the eyes of the stage and through your records?
I think I just got to it. I just wrote. I just wrote and fell in love with creating and just like made a bunch of things. Like I think I have like 6 or 7 like albums out, but like you could call them albums. They're not like studio albums. They're like a young kid in the 21st century, like writing and getting on shit that he thinks is dope and just keeping it moving, not like second guessing, not trying to write songs, just like kind of just storytelling and telling my journey and whatever was hip to me at the time, and just shit that would make my friends be like, oh, this is dope. I was like, yeah, this is sick.
That's a good feeling too.
Yeah.
It's when you first have that feeling of seeing something work, at least a little bit, it feels good.
Yeah, but I just catered to that, and then it gave back to me, and then I just kept giving to it because yeah.
Well, and I feel like that's so important for people to know, is like part of this experience is having a portion of your time not be under some guidelines, not having to follow the rules or even know the rules. You know, you got to just keep going, keep creating. If you don't like what you made, make something new. And clearly you see that a lot now with all different platforms is it's not always about quality. It is about quantity sometimes, at least at the beginning, and learning, going through the ropes and learning what's yours, what you need to be yours, what's not for you. Was there a moment that you kind of, your sound or what felt correct for you for the first time kind of clicked?
No, it's never felt correct yet. Just now I'm starting to reflect on it and say, oh, I really want to make the shit that I really want to make.
Yeah.
And back then through the whole journey, I've just kind of just been ripping and just kind of just doing whatever was natural. And I love a lot of that stuff, and it's perfectly natural, and it's great because it's like, it's not overthought.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us can fall into the trap of like overthinking things, but I think you do that so much where it's like, well, there has to be a point where, you know, you want to reach a different level of how you treat your art and what you put into it. And it can't just be you rapping on sample beats forever and, you know, pumping out albums and just kind of onto the next one and onto the next one. It's like, well, what if I told you like, you don't have much time left, you know, or something like that. So it's like, I'm starting to see it more like that and more like, it's some self-pressure, but it's like, it's good pressure. It's not crippling because it really makes me like, I can start to beat myself up about it because the level of taste that I have and the shit that I want to achieve it's very difficult to do. And it takes a lot of new things to consider.
Absolutely.
That maybe I haven't in the past. But there's also some amazing, beautiful energy of the past that was like, what are you talking about? I don't care about any of y'all. Like when I was creating in Connecticut in my mom's basement, like I wasn't thinking about anything, anybody, any of this. You know, like I wasn't like, I need to be cool, be recognized at this party. I need to shake this dude's hands. Like, hell no. So there is that beautiful purity there that I also want to bring along with me.
I think the ability to sort through life situations and life's memories and life's lessons and keep with you what is necessary, but also be willing to take on more baggage throughout life is so important. And I think so many people are so content with whatever success they've found that they're willing to stick with it forever, versus this, like you were saying, like what happens if somebody tells you that you don't have much longer to live? Like, what do you do? Are you still going to keep making the same bullshit that you made yesterday? Or are you going to try to inch a little bit further, like that new instrument, trying to learn just a little bit more? And I think it's really cool to hear from somebody who's found the level of success that you already have, that you're still willing to progress as a musician and a human, and you don't feel like you've already got what you deserved. Like there's more for you.
More than ever. I don't feel like I don't feel like I've made a dent yet.
That's incredible.
Which is I could picture like a listener of mine being like, "Oh, that hurts my heart," but I don't mean it like in a sad, like feel bad for me way. I mean it more in like this is so sick. Like think of what we could really do.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I remember I heard some shit like with Benny Blanco saying like he was with Ed Sheeran backstage about to go out to an arena, and they were talking about some guy who's doing this for the world or blah blah blah, or I forget what it was. It was something really dope, and they were like, and Ed Sheeran was like, "What am I doing with my life?" And then goes out to play the arena. It's like, well, you're doing some amazing shit, but you just kind of like, I don't know. There's no limits on this, and you obviously have to be stoked about where you are and grateful for that. But I've also heard something yesterday that was like, if you are even thinking about not being part of, if any part of you doesn't want to just subscribe to the normal world and be a part of like popular culture and whatnot, if any part of you is like, I don't want to really fuck with that, I want to push the boundaries, then you're already in the margins, because most people aren't even thinking about that. So even just that thought, you're already very different.
You've already stepped outside.
You're already very different, and then once you identify yourself as one of those types of people, you can never again look to them or the general masses for validation, because it's irrelevant at that point. They will never give you it. I mean, maybe in the future you will, but you'll never feel it because you don't even want to be.
Yeah,
you don't even want to be there.
It's not correct. You're not.
It's not you. It's like you're not here to do what they're meant to do, and it's tough in relationships when you have, a friend or a girlfriend or somebody you love, or your mom or something who, is perfectly down to be in this world.
Yeah.
And you have to love them for being that, and not be like, you should want to be in the margins.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
There's more for you.
Yeah, and it's like maybe, but if there was, they would do it. Yeah.
I mean, it's like this sort of protective barrier that some people wear, where if you don't feel like you have to stray outside of the path that's already given for you, then it's hard to fail. And for some people, unlike us, that's necessary, just as in the same way that people use religion to, or whatever their fix is, to have some sort of margins, to know that they are doing a good job, that they are a good person, that what they are doing is valid.
Yeah.
They don't have people who are listening to their music letting them know, good or bad, what they think of it, and all these different checkpoints that luckily this industry brings to help humble and allow us to grow as human beings just as much as musicians or artists or whatever. Maybe that's why it's there. Maybe it is this natural coping mechanism to fight off the harshes of life that not everybody needs to handle.
Not everybody wants to get busted.
No.
Me personally, I pray for people to bust me.
Me too.
Yeah. And I keep people around me who are real enough to bust me.
Maybe that's the skateboarder in me, that I'm just looking to get hurt so I can figure out what I did wrong so I can do it again better next time.
You skate hard.
I used to skate. I can't skate anymore.
You hitting handrails and shit?
Fuck no, not anymore.
Okay.
Snowboarding I was. Now I'm watching. Now I'm in the lodge with you.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy I didn't break nothing on that shit.
No, I broke too much. That's why I'm sitting down here.
Yeah. Safer life.
Yeah.
That's
no
your own
handrails.
safety net, yeah.
So I just feel like clearly everybody's path is put there for a reason. I don't know the reason. I guess it's not our jobs to figure that out for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly you were put with these abilities and this ability to listen to yourself, like to know you have a keen ear for something without somebody telling you that takes a level of I'm going to listen to what the fuck I'm saying and not just these outside sources.
I
Was
wasn't
there,
always like that though. Yeah.
when you were younger, was the crowd easier to follow than yourself?
I think you try, you give it a run, you give it a fair chance,
Mm-hmm.
and then you feel stupid, you look stupid, you waste money. It's just a lot cheaper,
Yeah.
productive, better for everyone for you to just be yourself and listen to your gut.
Absolutely.
You'll just save so much fucking time.
Well, and it's also you have to be willing to when people say broke rock star or broke artist, starving artist, whatever it is, like I think that's a step in that's like a form of acceptance into this culture of like you have to be willing to have nothing and still get broken and still get back up and keep going. Just like learning an instrument, just like any of these things. Like if you didn't know how to play instruments when you first moved out here and now you're able to get on stage in front of more people than most people will ever stand in front of and play an instrument, you had to be willing to fall many times throughout learning how to get there. I think that's part of this resilience, and that's part of why I have this podcast is I want people to understand that if you want this badly enough, that's what's going to get you there. Keep following your fucking gut and keep going, but
Keep falling.
Absolutely.
I was falling continuously. I mean, I look back at some old shit that I was doing. I was like, I was falling.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was falling. This shouts to the people who like were like
Getting you back up.
they like me because they saw a dude who was down to fall.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like, yeah, shit.
Jack Johnson has this song called "Washing Dishes," and he's got a line in it. He's one of my biggest inspirations. He's got a song where he like talks about his songs after he's got this album, and one of them he's talking about washing dishes. He goes, "Do people think I'm either broke because I'm washing dishes or a hard worker because I'm washing dishes?" And it's all the same thing. It just depends on how you want your mindset to portray it. And I feel like that's the same thing here. You decided to be a hard worker because you're washing dishes when you're falling.
Jack Johnson's so cool.
He's the fucking best.
He's so cool. I like that. Excuse me. I like that he's like that's kind of where I would love to take things, as far as not only is he literally on an island, but like he musically, like it's not like he's not competing. He's just like so solid in who he is and his sound that it's just like creates this like bubble around you where like, find me one person saying anything validly negative about Jack Johnson. You can't.
For real.
You know, like
the dude's playing in front of hundreds of thousands of people and then breaking teeth on fucking Pipeline at 40 something, 50 years old. Like he's still surfing. He's still.
I don't know what the fuck you just said. Is that some surf shit?
He's just like breaking his teeth with surfing and like posting pictures of it and shit like that.
Oh, for real?
And
I thought that was like a phrase, like.
Oh no, I'm not that in it.
Yeah. I was like, bet he probably break teeth on the pipeline. Let's go.
Now it is.
No, I hear you. He's raw dude.
And I feel like as a musician, what better place to find yourself than able to sell out arenas and go home to your kids every single night. Being able to get ridiculous sales on your albums and still fall asleep next to your wife or your loved one every single night and have that opportunity. And like there's this balance that you have to be outside of the margins in order to follow and to obtain.
Yeah, but I feel like someone like him is cool because even if he wasn't selling albums, he'd still be cool.
100%.
You know, I think a lot of these people, and including me, and this is something I'm trying to shed, where it's like, if it doesn't work, you're like, who are you? Like, are you gonna be a raw good dude, or are you gonna be like bitter?
Yeah. And
it's like, that's why I have so much respect for like people who do not bogus jobs, necessary jobs, but jobs that are way less cool than, you know, smoking weed, making music, and being creative all day, being an artist. But they do it with such dignity, and they do it with they do it. And I'm like, you guys are the shit. Like, you're cooler than a lot of artists I know.
And they're the ones that make the world keep working too.
For sure.
Like the amount of artists I know that they're not lazy people. They're working hard.
It's a lot of divas.
But we're not fucking waking up at 4 a.m, picking up lumber and walking it to another side of a building and then doing it again and again until our back breaks. Like, it's such a different fucking world.
Yeah.
And
Our
I
lumber
agree.
is the mental lumber, though. Like we pick up things with our mind.
100%.
Like it does. I'm not saying artists have it easy at all.
No.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But there is this, I guess, flip side and the opposite of what I was just saying, kind of more following you, is maybe that's also part of why people don't make it as an artist, is people don't realize that when you say something to somebody online, no matter how big they are, and they see it, it's going to hurt them. That's part of this. And you are in this position where people are willing to say whatever the fuck they want to you because they think you're untouchable and it isn't going to hurt you. And I can't speak for you, but have you ever had a situation where somebody said something to you thinking that you would never see it because it's social media
100%.
and you saw it and it was tough to see?
It fucks with you. Yeah. I mean, a couple of times, but I can't remember any of them.
Then you're doing it right.
What has got me? Well, I don't know, because I think if you, like, you either it will get to you at some point, but then it's just like you realize the squad, the people that are saying these things are so dumb.
Yeah.
They're so fucking lost and confused. Even the people who are saying nice things can be very dumb.
Absolutely.
And like just not, and like the great people loving whatever, like, and I'm not saying I'm smarter, but it's just like if someone's not on your wave, if someone's not on your wave, then they're dumb. I'm dumb to somebody who's, who thinks I'm like a stoner idiot.
Yeah.
And just like making art. It's like, you're not doing anything for the world.
Oh,
Like to them, I might be dumb. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying the fans are dumb, but the audience, like, I don't know. I saw some Bukowski quote, and I like Bukowski because he's a little bit of a cunt, and I like taking on these cuntish ideals because it's like, you kind of have to. It's maybe it's like a shield, maybe it's a little protective thing.
Yeah, a little
but he's like wherever the audience is going, run the other way. And I think that's just fire.
That's part of the margin thing too. That's willing to be on an island by yourself as long as you got your computer to make music. Like that's, you have to be
Not
to be
by
a little,
myself though. I need my people I love. I need people.
I guess without the crowd, I should say.
Yeah, I don't need the noise and the crowd, but I need real loving relationships and people who are there for me. So if you're a fan and you're there for me and you love me, I love you, and you are not dumb. If you are just if you are somebody who, you hear me backtracking, I'm like, hope no one thinks I'm saying they're dumb, but I think the dumb people, if you feel dumb, you're dumb.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of fuckers out there saying shit you don't want to hear. It's like, jeez, man, you could do so much good for the world if you would just refocus your energy. I don't really like to talk shit about nobody anymore.
There's no point. I just don't see what good
the
in
point
your
is
life
you
you'll
get
bring.
energy, because I've witnessed myself when I'm feeling low and I start saying, yeah, and fuck that shit, I start to feel better.
Get that little high.
But you get a little high and the room gets a little high, and then if you see it if you zoom out far enough, you realize that's not it. That's not lasting.
Retrospect will be the killer of all bullshit. It's really, I feel like 4 steps out is what I always tell myself, is when you have a shitty situation, walk 4 steps out and then look back at it and see how shitty it was. You have a great situation, you're so proud of yourself, walk 4 steps out, see where you are. I think it works for everything. Yeah. And if you're still just as proud or just as pissed off, maybe there's some fucking validity to it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's valid.
Yeah.
But if you're not, there you go. Go on with your fucking day.
Yeah.
and go listen to some Felly.
Odds are, you won't think about it how emotional you were.
You won't.
No.
Well, dude, I appreciate
Just
you.
the end. This went so fast.
I know.
I chugged a coffee before I came. Sorry if I talked too much.
No, you're so good. That's literally why you're here.
What, to talk?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I am.
Well, maybe
You betcha.
You run into a session. Maybe a day you don't have one, we'll get another one going.
Yeah, let's do the long one. I'll
Yeah.
come drink some booze and
I'll roll some weed.
talk shit.
And I don't know if you like mushrooms, but I got mushrooms. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, man.
And thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And to everybody out there,
I'm Felly, and this is an experiment.
fuck yeah. Goodbye, everybody. Thank
Let's
you,
go.
brother. I appreciate
Cheers.
you.
Much love.
The experience is the experiment.